Boston is a fantastic place to walk around. Wide sidewalks, gorgeous parks, and adorable neighborhoods add up to a very enjoyable pedestrian experience. As far as we can tell, there's no room for improvement.
But here, it sucks.
Once bustling with corporate life, the towering giants of Boston's financial district stand eerily vacant. Take a look around. Empty skyscrapers and corporate buildings alter the landscape, a notable contrast to the vibrant city just behind them. Office use was already on the decline, but after the COVID-19 pandemic, things only got worse. Over-reliance on single-use buildings has made downtown Boston dreary and deserted. Boston's downtown may have spacious walkways, but they aren't fully utilized outside the working hours.
After 5 p.m., the finance bros head home, and downtown becomes a ghost town. It's like they're leaving the party early. Imagine if this place was teeming with life around the clock. The local economy would surge, and I wouldn't have to look like a bored tech executive.
Imagine if we could turn these lifeless structures into thriving communities. By converting office buildings into condos or rental houses, we can strategically place people in much-needed homes where jobs and industries flourish. Our team member Abby spoke with 2 employees of Boston Planning and Development Agency, Andrew and Brittany.
Our office to residential program literally just started.
It's been a long process that started back in 2018, and then especially after the pandemic, looking into ways to reuse office spaces that are struggling or vacant. Right now, really the goal is to ensure that there aren't, hurdles in place and to try and encourage it as much as possible. The reality is just simply like 2 to 3 projects would be a great win, just simply to bring more housing to the area.
When people can live closer to their workplace, we reduce congestion, commute times, and carbon footprints.
The pandemic really highlighted the need to bring more uses, bring more diversity to ground floor spaces and businesses.
Pedestrian traffic and increased nightlife will help boost the economy in this area. Businesses would flourish, from corner cafes to boutiques and everything in between. Consumer industries would thrive, creating a ripple effect of prosperity throughout the city and surrounding areas. Our team member Abby sat down with Al, a local cafe owner, to discuss the pandemic's impact on foot traffic in the financial district.
Every day, Mondays and Fridays used to be my busiest days. Busiest now they're the least busy days. Like I said, everyone's staying home, working remotely on Monday and Friday. It's just a total different ballgame. There used to be throngs of people, and you just haven't come back to that yet. One thing I loved about Boston was the hustle. I love the hustle and bustle of downtown Boston. I don't know why we can't have both like we've had for 100, 200 years. If I didn't have all these businesses, all these office buildings with offices inside, I would not have any customers.
There's nothing that brings life to a city like bright greenery, filled with plants, animals, and people spending time together.
Walkability of simply the safety of the sidewalk and trying to introduce more green infrastructure within that.
An increase in green spaces and outdoor access is good for the community's mental, physical, and emotional health. Studies have shown increased urban green spaces decrease mortality and violence and increase attention, mood, and physical activity. It is essential that people have the opportunity to get outside into green spaces in the heart of a city like Boston. These warm invitations of life paint a picture of a city's values.
So why haven't we taken action to flourish? The city is letting everyone down when it creates green spaces for its employees and not for its people.
When we look at Copley Square, excitement. Coolidge Corner, packed and bustling. Harvard Square, full of energy. But downtown, that's a different story. Downtown is dead. It's dark and gray. It's a concrete jungle with no jungle. No trees, no life anywhere to be seen, really.
With downtown, like one of the big kind of assets to the area is we have the Common and the Greenway on either side. But through the planning process, the community really highlighted the need for these smaller spaces in between, especially in areas like Chinatown, where, coming together in some of the smaller plazas is incredibly important to the residential community that's very strong right there.
Trees along sidewalks, parks of grass and flowers, benches, fountains, and gardens will bring life to this part of the city.
Plan Downtown kind of lays out a few different tactics, some new public spaces or opportunities to create those, and then on top of that, improving some of the smaller spaces around downtown.
Green spaces need to be welcoming to all Bostonians. Like many other cities, Boston is guilty of dehumanizing and discriminating against its homeless population. Anti-homeless architecture is everywhere in the city. Hostile designs meant to deter those with no shelter.
These tactics aren't just ineffective, they're morally wrong. A city is supposed to uplift its citizens, but more often than not, Boston is ignoring them.
We can't have a conversation about improving downtown unless it includes all perspectives.
The plan really highlighted some of those trouble areas of locations where sidewalks really get too narrow, or these areaways, basement-like spaces that are actually part of private property, but they go underneath the public sidewalk and have really added to the degradation of some of the sidewalk spaces.
Let's turn hostile, vacant towers into homes bursting with life. Let's build bridges of inclusivity and compassion across our great city. Let's make a downtown for everyone.